Hello and welcome to the second episode of Why Are You Single, the show where we find out why us as Adventists are single, what we're going through, and the different challenges. With each guest, we ask them to be vulnerable, open, and totally honest with us. And today's guest is...
It's me.
It's you. Today we are with Michael Hughes. Mike, tell the people how old you are.
I'm 28.
28. Are you ready to talk a little bit about why you're single?
Sure.
Nice. Let's start from the top. Where are you from? Like, you tell people you're from where?
I say I'm from Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah. Not born here, but raised here. So, yeah.
And what is it that you do?
Right now, I work as EMT or an advanced EMT for Bell Ambulance. It's one of the local private ambulance companies here.
Yeah.
That's my job. I also, I don't know, just do other things with my church. Pretty invested there. And then, I'm also studying, for my MCAT. So that takes a lot of time. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's kind of your day to day.
I mean, there's other stuff, but that's just the main stuff.
All right, fair enough. And then the main question I have for you is, why are you single? Would you say it's by circumstance or by choice?
It's both.
Okay.
Circumstance. So, way back in the first season, we talked about like the numbers in Adventism, especially here, we know that there's different parts of the country where there's large populations of Adventists.
Right.
Wisconsin, unfortunately, isn't there. It doesn't have a large population. There's people here, but not a lot of numbers here to begin with. And so that's one issue. But I'll get to that later. But also, I was in Adventist education up until my sophomore year in high school. And so I went to public high school for my last 2 years. Then I went to public college. Then I joined the military. Okay. And so, really, while I was always around the church, didn't really have the opportunity to, go and meet other Adventists or, be around a lot of other young Adventists, and, maybe run into somebody that I liked. I worked at summer camp for a couple weeks 1 year.
How come it was such a short stint?
Huh?
Why was it such a short stint?
Nurse.
Oh, okay.
I was a nurse, quote unquote. So I was there. I did I think I did a 3-week stint there before I was like the archery instructor, which was fun. But outside of that, like I said, never really had the opportunity to be around a big Adventist community for a long period of time. Like my church, I'm part of a church plant. The only other girl there my age is my sister. She's a year older than me. So, there's other churches here, but, because it's a church plant, I spend the majority of my time up there. I do get opportunities to do mission trips and meet other people, when we do go to events and stuff like that. But, don't really have that much time to connect with someone, physically, there face to face. So I think circumstance definitely, but also by choice as well. I do, I've met many beautiful Adventist girls. I still talk to, a number of them from time to time.
Michael.
The opportunities have been there.
Okay.
For sure. But I just feel like because I don't know where I'm going to be, I'm not settled down where I'm at. And then I have other things I want to do. I feel like, I just want to make sure I accomplish that first and then worry about that, because I'm so busy and, I have in my mind, I want to do other things. I do want to date, but it's, sometimes it's, I guess it's just, I feel like it wouldn't be the best choice.
Fair enough.
But then, sometimes I meet a girl and I'm just like, man, if she was in Wisconsin,
I'd be all over that.
I'd be, yeah. So,
for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Dang. Now, for the circumstances part, you mentioned that the biggest obstacles was numbers. What other circumstances would you say are affecting you? Because you mentioned that you're studying for the MCAT and you
Mm-hmm.
don't have time. How has that specifically affected you, other than the numbers thing?
Well, before I get to time, I would say just not around because, I did mention that I was in public school, high school, no Adventists there. I was in a public college. There's like a small handful. Milwaukee is not like a big place for Adventists to begin with.
True.
But, like I said, public college, it's cheaper. Majority of Adventists actually don't go to Adventist college. Most people, I don't know if they realize that.
It's true,
The
actually.
overwhelming majority actually go to public campuses. But yeah, I felt like I was never around. And then, for being in the military, I always wanted to work at summer camp for a summer, but because I knew I had to, I was in the reserve in the summer, I'd have to go away for 2-3 weeks at a time. And then every month I'd have to go for a few days. So I just felt like, I didn't want to travel back and forth. And, one of my good friends met his now wife, at camp. I know the Taylors met each other
At camp.
We had them on,
right.
They met each other at camp. So, it's, a lot of camp relationships kind of, flame out and people get their heart broken, but it's still a nice place. Some work out. It's still a nice place to meet someone. So I for years I always just told myself, and I talked to my parents about it. I was like, I feel like I'm never around. So because I was like, man, I feel like I'm not going to meet someone. I feel like I'm never around. Now, obviously, these are choices I made. I made the choice to go to public campus or a public college. I made the choice to go in the military. I mean, these were goals I wanted to do. Nothing wrong with those things, but there are consequences to those. If I had gone to an Adventist college, who knows? But I mean, the chances would have been a lot better.
Would you say it was that you didn't think of it at the time, or you just didn't care, or you knew that it was going to happen and you jumped in anyway?
Kind of a mixture of both. Not that I didn't care. Like, I wanted the reason why I joined the military is because I wanted to be an officer. I wanted to fly planes. Still want to fly planes, but not in, the military. But, I wanted to fly planes. So my unit was in Madison. And so I decided to stay. Madison's the capital of Wisconsin, and it's about a little over an hour away from Milwaukee.
Where we live now, yeah.
And so I wanted to stay kind of in the area and go to college in Milwaukee, and then, when I graduate, I would go and train and become an officer. And essentially, that's how it works.
Right.
So I made those choices together, in the hopes of, obtaining my goals of becoming a pilot. So, it wasn't like I just didn't care. It was just like, this is what I wanted to do in life. I knew that was going to be a consequence. Like, I knew I wasn't going to meet people. I had like one person, an adult at the church we went to was like, how are you going to meet a wife? Like, if you don't go to, Adventist college, because he met his wife at Adventist college.
Keeping it as a stack. Yeah.
It's a true question. I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, I'll meet someone, eventually. That was in my mind. It's still the case, but,
How long ago was that?
Oh, this was like, I mean, I joined in 2014, 2015. I think it was
about a decade ago.
That. Yeah, almost a decade ago. Man, dang. Oh, God. So,
dang, yeah, that's crazy. Would you have done anything differently, do you think, looking back?
I always think about that. Like, should I have gone
because, like you said, like a lot of these circumstances are not I don't want to say self-inflicted because it sounds like it's a wound.
There are choices that I made.
Yeah, there are conscious choices that you made.
There are consequences to them. I think about that all the time. Like, man, I could have still been in the military and gone to an Adventist college. One of the big things for me, though, that I did consider in going to Adventist college was, the military pays for, your college.
Right.
But only if it's a public school. They pay for a percentage of it if you go to a private school. I don't know how much of a percentage, but in Wisconsin, they specifically have a program where you can get 100% of your education paid for.
Wow,
and that's big.
Yeah,
because my parents, I don't want to put them on blast, but they're still, a lot of adults still haven't paid off their undergraduate college tuition.
Wow.
So I was blessed to have it all taken care of. So I'm free, but I'm alone.
At what cost? Everything.
So, yeah, that's it.
Now, you said also by choice that you're single. Walk me through that in a little bit more detail. Because now you know the consequences. You've been out of the military for a while now. You've been out of school for a while. Why do you still choose to stay single now?
Because the future, I don't know where I'm going to be. Like, if I was going to meet someone, I mean, if I was going to meet someone, the odds are, they'd probably be somewhere long distance, at this point. At least that's how it is. I feel like the only girls I'm ever like really into, they're out of state or even out of the country.
Remember to ask you about that later.
Yeah. So, depending on where I go to medical school, I don't know, how it's going to work out. And I don't want to have to go through the heartbreak of having to be like, but you never know. So, they could, if everything works out and the person you feel bothly strong about each other, things could work out, I guess, where they could move. But I mean, you don't know. And it's just like, long distance relationships, the statistics show that they're not as successful. They can still work though. I know a number of couples that have worked, but it's not for everyone. It's hard. But it's just I think a choice I've made. But who knows? Maybe I meet someone and it actually works out.
Okay, so how much longer do you plan to stay single? And the reason I ask that is because you say, well, I don't know where I'm going to be. So then the question is, when will you know, right? Because the only one that knows is you.
When I apply. I've been dragging my feet on this medical school thing. But yeah, when I apply, then I'll know, whoever takes me, I'm a pretty, I'll be honest, I'm pretty average student. I have a lot of life experience, a lot of medical experience, so that helps.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm gonna have the top choice of the medical schools in the country. But whoever takes me, that's where I'm gonna be. I know for the next 4 years at least.
Right.
So with that in mind, it's just it kind of holds me back.
So, for example, you might come with us to the young adult event later this year, or in a couple months in July. Let's say we meet this girl again, who is from north of the border. Delete that. If she was into you,
yes,
would that change your mind?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I know there's girls that
there's incongruency there.
There's
also
there's also obviously not every girl that I've shown interest in has always been interested, or at least maybe they were, and it just
didn't work out
because long distance.
Yeah.
But if the cards were right, if I was met a girl and was really into her, and then she was into me, I would definitely try to give it a shot, or I would definitely at least try to keep talking.
Okay, but your circumstances haven't changed, so why would her liking you more hurry those plans, where you suddenly know where you want to be?
I mean, it's just like if she's willing to, be patient and help me build, myself and be with me in these forming years, then I'm okay. I'll be like, if you're okay with this, we can meet up, we can travel, and see each other every once, I don't know how.
2-3 times a year.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we talk every night. I'm fine with that, and I think it works better for us because, I've mentioned this before in the podcast, as Adventists, we already know, even though it's hard, we already know that, premarital sex is taboo, it's off the table. So, that, I guess, longing to be with each other. You still want to be with someone, but
yeah,
hey, it's okay. There's no pressure. We're fine. Just, talking, praying with each other, and then, meeting every once in a while. If I can find something like that, I'd be down.
Well, that was going to be my next question. What does building with Michael look like? So paint a picture for
just
Isabel
knowing hey, I'm not at my goal yet. It's coming close. It's
No, no,
soon.
no, no. Be more specific, because that's very vague.
Well, like my career goals,
Yeah,
because
okay.
that's a big part of my life. My career goals, that's going to shape where I'm going to live
Well, yeah.
and, who I'm going to be and, the type of schedule I'm going to have. Like, if you're able to, support me and be there for me emotionally and, spiritually while I go through that, then yeah, like that's what I mean by building. Like, not just like wait till I'm there at the top. Like, go with me through the ups and downs. Yeah, that's keeper for me.
And you're saying you've never met a girl like that?
Oh, I think I have.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know. It just, I guess some of them I haven't been as into as I thought, and I don't want to be into a relationship because I'm just lonely.
That's real.
So I just want to, if I know I truly like the girl, then I'll try. But yeah, I'm not just gonna seek someone out because I'm desperate for a relationship.
For love.
Because it won't work. I won't be happy, and the person won't be happy, and you can tell.
And neither will she. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever dated before, Mike?
No, not like seriously, no.
Why not?
For all the same reasons.
Okay, question, pause. What do you mean by not seriously? What is unseriously
Well, I've
like?
talked back and forth with girls, we've gone out, but it's not like it was ever anything like, oh yeah, like, I like you type thing. It wasn't, I never,
Okay.
I never went, or what's the word? I never like pushed it to that level.
To like an official relationship.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like those opportunities for me came very few and far between.
Like the girls that you've taken out.
Yeah, and the one girl that we were always, talking and stuff like that. She wasn't even Adventist.
Yeah.
Christian, but not Adventist.
Now, I personally just happen to know the fact that you have talked to a few women, just like on the phone, texting, just back and forth. You're sometimes like, "Oh, this girl texted me this," and then we just laugh about it or whatever. Yeah. Why hasn't it gone anywhere? Like you said, is it just because you don't want to, because it fizzles out, or what fizzles out?
Well, sometimes I talk to girls because I just like to talk to them. I like to tease girls. I like to joke around with them. Make fun of them. It's just funny to me. I get a kick out of it, and it's nice to talk to girls. At least every once in a while. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm super into them. I just, I like friendship. I'm a people person.
Do they know that?
I don't know.
Because I don't know. Because it might come off as you're just playing with their emotions, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not like, doing all that type of like romance. I'm not trying to romance them. I'm just, I'm a people person. Most people know that. I crack a lot of jokes.
Right.
Funny guy. I just say stuff off the top. I try to hang out. But it doesn't necessarily mean if I'm doing that with a girl that I'm necessarily trying to establish something. I guess sometimes it can be kind of seen as playing games, but it's
because especially for example, she seems to be really into you, and she's a pretty girl. And you and I know that she's into you, even though it hasn't been explicitly said. But the things that she does and says indicate that. Now, do you ever feel like you led her on?
I think I did once, but
okay.
Yeah, I probably should. Well, I didn't say anything bad, but I would joke
about.
You
gave her hope, or
I think I may be ahead of, but I don't know. I think I
be honest.
I think I might have said joked about I don't say joked, but I think I might have said hey, I can come and visit you and hang out and stuff, but it never happened. So, and I always compliment her or give a cute emoji.
Yeah.
Because she's cute, like you said.
She is.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. She is. But I never follow up with it. Or I never keep it going and then never take it to the next step. So I can see how that could be frustrating.
Is it because you get bored or what is it?
No, I just, like I said, a lot of it has to do with the reasons I mentioned earlier. with.
But like, you never gave her a chance to build with you, is what I'm saying.
I know, that's the thing. So I guess maybe I'm just not.
Like, that's
Maybe
why I say
maybe
that
I'm
you
just.
probably lost interest, but.
Yeah. So I think that's it.
Hmm.
But like I say, sometimes it's just nice to, talk to a girl, tease them. I
don't disagree
I
with you. It
enjoy
is what
that.
it is. Yeah. Although I do see kind of how like it can be dangerous, I guess. But um now how has never dating affected you? So like I like once you date, you know there's certain do's and don'ts. There's certain like ways you carry yourself, certain things that you just know how to do in a relationship, and certain way you talk to women. At least that's been in my case. How do you feel like it's affected you, like in talking to other girls? The fact that you've never had a girlfriend, a serious girlfriend, I should say,
I've never had a girlfriend in any way,
in any
in
capacity.
any
Okay,
capacity. One way I know it has affected me is that like I find myself like comfortable with being single, almost to like
a fault.
yeah, because
Hmm.
now I'm just like, well, I don't want to have to always.
Like I'm already good where I'm at. So
Yeah,
why
well,
try any
I
further?
like, not having to worry about, oh man, what is she gonna think? Or, I gotta do something with her. I can do whatever I want when I want.
Hmm.
I have hobbies, you know. So like I feel like I like that, flexibility. I like, being comfortable. But that's just I think, when I know I'm into someone, that kind of all goes out the window. Now I want to be around them. Now I want to include them in everything and talk to them. So I think point of that is just like me, I mean, part of that is just probably like me not having someone that I'm super interested around in right now. But then,
Hmm.
if I do find that person, then it's just like, I think all that changes. So that's number one, I guess, would be just being comfortable and enjoying being alone. And then another part, you get a little like, oh, maybe I won't find someone. The Lord's coming soon.
Oh
Do I
wow.
even care? Type of thing. Um,
Has that manifested itself in any way? Like, have you held yourself back from talking to somebody, or saying talking to somebody because of that? Because you're like, I don't like if I don't need like I don't need to force it, so why continue trying? Type
no,
thing.
not really, but it
Okay.
has come into my mind honestly, because like I see a girl, I think she's cute. Like I'll try and talk to her. Like it's just
Yeah,
I
instinctually.
can't help myself.
Interesting.
uh, or let me see what else. Um, I think it has helped me in a positive way because um I for a fact know like that I don't know, like when I'm around a girl, like I don't really care how like what I say or like how how I say things. I just act myself, which I think is good. I don't try to like sweet talk or anything. I don't think that's really me.
Hmm.
I just kind of like what's something silly and funny that I can say that can make someone laugh, which is what I do regardless, of anybody, or what kind of like deep conversations can I have.
So like you don't have like a go-to like move or suave
Nope.
or like a playbook.
No, I just try to get to know the person. Like
But even in
honestly,
getting
there
to
are.
know someone, there's like certain areas you would focus on before
Well,
others
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to like build
I
what do
mean,
you call
like
it, to
if I
build
notice the
tension
girl is
and romance
attractive,
it.
I will compliment them on that.
Okay.
Um, but that's stuff that's just kind of like that I say, not really as a strategy so much, but it's just like that's just who I am.
Hmm.
I pour into people. I compliment them. I support them. And so if I see a girl and, obviously I'm going to be more compelled to compliment them because, I'm attracted to them. I honestly think it's just more about who I am instead of me just trying to get at a girl. Um, so I don't, yeah, like I said, because I don't really have like a
Yeah.
set strategy. I just try to see people for who they are, even though I like them. So maybe that's something that I have to work on, just like having a strategy.
The game plan.
A
Yeah.
game plan, yeah. Things to say, things to talk about.
Has a girl ever been into you?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
What does that look like for Mike?
I mean, I don't know.
What does she do?
There's so many different ways. There's just, you know, like a lot of times
There have
they'll
been
like
so
ask
many
me to,
different girls after you that you're like, there's so many. I
hey,
can't
you'd be
think of it.
surprised. You'd be
I'm
surprised.
not surprised. Go ahead.
I mean, like, they'll ask me to be around, or they'll ask me to like, hey, like, come and see this, or, like, they'll have me like follow them around or something like that. Or
In what context?
just like, we'll be walking and they'll like, just keep inviting me to like come and
Yeah.
hang
Okay.
out and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll just, try to keep a conversation going all the time and stuff like that. That's one approach. Or the other approach is, they just, you know, watch you and smile at you. I mean, like they do that a lot. I mean, boys do it too, obviously.
Obviously.
So, um, I know I've had girls like ask me, um, like to go drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Can never do that. That happened.
You can drink a spritzer or a sparkling side.
That happened. It was funny because I was in Australia, and I was with a friend, my friend who I actually met in Iceland, and we were at a youth rally in Australia at his church, and I had met a girl on the Great Ocean. There's like this there's a trail, or like I don't know if it's a trail, but there's like a road. It's called the
Path.
Great.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it's called the Great Ocean Road,
Oh,
or
wow.
whatever. Yeah, and you can take a tour on it, and it's really beautiful. And so it just follows the coast of Australia
wow.
for like the whole day. And I met this one chick on there and her friend. I think I told you about her. Now this is the other. This is not the first chick that I met at the airport. This is the other
one.
chick.
Well, I want you to tell that airport story too.
Oh yeah. That was that was a great.
That was great.
I miss her.
Yeah, I know you do.
But I mean, I still have both of them on Instagram. But yeah, this chick, I met her, and we just kind of hung around. And she had a friend, but I clearly liked the other one.
Yeah.
Didn't really know that much about her, but she was cute. I thought she was cute and she was nice. So we had talked, and then I got her number, and I texted her. I was like, hey, like, let's do something tomorrow or whatever. And so I had me and my friend. We met up. We went to the museum and stuff like that. And I hung out for a little longer. And then that Friday night, obviously we were at the youth rally. She's not Adventist, obviously.
Okay.
But she was like, hey, like, can you guys come out for drinks? Like, there's a really nice place. And me and my friend, I was like, dude, like, this is sad, And so we had to decline her. But then me and my friend were just like, dude, what kind of guys do this? Like, cute girl asks you out for drinks, and we say no because they're at church. Like,
it didn't cross your mind to be like, stop by church.
Well, and we were like, hey, we can go for a walk in the park or do something afterwards. You know, that's what we were thinking. Like, we can, do something else. But she was like, no, that's okay.
Yeah.
But we were just funny because we were laughing. I was like, how many guys that we know would actually do this? That, like, a lot of our friends, are outside of the church, but we're just like, how many guys do we know would do that?
Would decline a girl asking you out,
and especially
a pretty
if she's
Australian girl. Yeah.
Yes, and so we were just like, but the airport chick, that she was actually Christian.
So how did you guys even meet?
It was just, I was standing. I just flew into Sydney, and I was getting like a SIM card. I was in line to get a SIM card.
Okay.
Because if you've ever flown international, your SIM card obviously doesn't work if you don't have that plan set up. I didn't, so I had to buy a new one. So I was standing in line, and then all of a sudden I see this cute girl from the corner of my eye, and I just watched her, and then she stood right there, like a person or two, maybe like 5 feet away from me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. And so, like I said, if you see a cute girl, I'm gonna want to talk to her. And so that's what I did. I started up a conversation with her, and it was going really good. Then it was my turn in line. And then, I wanted to wait for her. And so she went and got her SIM card, and then I was gonna talk to her, or try to start it up again, and then she just walked right past me. Which is funny. So I was like, I just laughed, and I told my friend, and I was like, snap.
So what did you do?
But then afterwards, I was talking to you on the phone, and I saw her walking into the subway, which was where I was going to go.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, Josue, I see her. Because I think I was telling you about her.
I do remember.
And then I was like, Josue, I see her. And then I was like, I got to go. And you were like, yeah, go. And so I hung up on you, went and chased her down the subway. There's nothing creepy about that. And then she was there at the bottom of the escalator, like in her suitcase or something, and then I walked up to her and I was like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing
What
here?"
a coincidence!
And then she was like, "Oh yeah, I was trying to like find you, like whatever." She said she had a long layover, she was going exploring, and she invited me to do it with her. And I was like, "Sure." And so that's what we did. Went and explored Sydney a little bit.
Where was she from? Why
was from England.
Why was she there?
She was from England. She was on a mission trip, I think.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Very pretty girl. She was British/Cambodian.
Interesting mix.
Interesting mix. You know who also has that mix? Minka Kelly.
I don't know who that is.
You seen Friday Night Lights?
No.
Oh,
I'll look her up.
You'll look her up. She's very beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
So yeah, she was pretty, very nice. We exchanged information, and that was it.
And you didn't like hit her up afterwards? You didn't seek anything?
Not really. I mean, there's so many girls in Australia. She was out of sight, so it's just I hit her up a couple times.
She showed interest,
but she wasn't really Advent. She wasn't Adventist. I don't know how Christian she was, but I mean, she was on a Christian mission trip, so I mean, that was good.
Yeah,
but yeah,
dang.
So, but I mean, yeah, like she invited me. I was going to ask her if she wanted to do something, but she said it before I did. So,
yeah,
stuff like that. I mean, some girls that are even in relationships too. Sometimes, like one girl, she didn't even tell me she had a boyfriend. We hung out like every day for like the whole school year
in high school. Yeah,
in college.
Oh, college.
Yeah, I had to walk her home and everything. And she would never tell me. Usually girls tell you right away. But she never
loved the attention.
Something. I'm like, yeah. You got a boyfriend, you can't like get attention from him, but I don't know. It was interesting.
Now, you met another girl when you and I went to a certain place a certain couple of years ago. GYC to be more specific.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about her because you really liked her for the longest.
I think about her and I still like her.
Yeah. So
I mean, like,
so how did you meet her? What was the deal, and why didn't it work out?
Because she is just so driven.
No, let's start from the top. How did you meet her?
Well, we just met her after GYC. Oh, so it was actually we were eating. Dang, if she hears this, I don't think she's listening. She's not ready. She's not on Spotify.
She'll know. Who cares? What are you afraid of?
She probably already does know. Anyway, like we were eating at that restaurant.
Yes, we went out to eat afterwards.
Yeah, and so it was funny because I think we were sitting at the same table, and then a group of people came in afterwards. There was a few other girls in that group.
Yes,
they sat at the table next to us, and then you're
on
like,
the far part,
yeah, and then you're like, yeah. I think I'm gonna go sit here. And then you left.
Well, that's because it was there. He's stunning. You know it, and I know it. Come on now.
I knew right away. I was like, oh, of course, Sway's gonna go over there.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
So I sat still. I mean, there was only one more spot, so I couldn't even go if I wanted. But then I sat there. I was talking to the other guy, and then this girl, she comes and sits next to me. Yeah, and I didn't really think anything of her. I was just like, she's cool. We were talking. I noticed we had some things in common. And then, after that, we decided to, go and try to hang out for the last few hours, do something fun
with everybody.
Yeah. So
that was an amazing time.
Yeah.
By the way.
So, walking with her and, just being around her, I just started to really get into her like energy and her like, what do you call it?
Her aura, her vibe.
Yeah. Just all that. It was just like really nice, And so that just kind of like made me look at her differently. I was like, oh, she didn't seem like this type of person. Just, if you see her, like, you don't think that she's like that type of person. But then, after spending more time with her, I'm like, yeah, I could see
makes
her
a
now
lot of
as
sense,
this type of person. Yeah. I mean, she's a leader. She wants to be, in this certain field that requires you to talk and be good with words. And so, she's just was good at all that. So I love the energy. And then, when we decided to finally just play a bunch of
board games, and stuff.
card games and stuff together. It was like what, maybe 15 of us? No,
Yeah, something like that.
It was,
Yeah,
good.
it was a
decent
huge number. Yeah.
We, I sat next to her, and just like, just soaked it all in, man.
That was so
and
funny.
Just by the end of that, I was just in my head, I was like, this girl's one of the most beautiful girls I've ever met in my life. So awesome.
Yeah.
But she has her mind straight on her goals.
But that wasn't even the end of it, because if you remember, half of the, like 2/3, like almost the entire group, 2/3 of the group had to leave.
Well, yeah, and then we stayed, and we got to.
It wasn't. It was the two of us.
Yeah,
the two of them.
Yeah,
and our girl Yanisha.
Yeah.
And then we went like even deeper,
into like me? Relationships and stuff.
Where this is where I got the name for this series.
Oh, okay.
Because if you remember, I was just sitting there, and then I asked like, "Hey, so why are you single?" She actually like gave me an honest, deep answer, and I was like, "Dang, like this girl's actually thought about this. Like this is good stuff."
Yeah.
And then remember we ran around the horn. It was Vanessa first, and then Yanisha, and then her, and then you, and then me at the end. What was it about? Do you remember why she said why she was single?
No, I actually don't. I don't remember.
She said that she wanted to focus on her career.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking about
block the name out.
No, I can't even summon it right now. Oh yeah.
Oh well, yeah. That's what I was mentioning. She was so focused earlier. That's what I was saying.
But she also mentioned something about the men.
That too. I remember that. She's like, the men are like, they're not
focused.
They
don't have any like life plans.
They don't have education. I'm like,
girl, I'm right here. I'm right here. Now, something funny that I saw was that I remember like you were sitting so close to her, and kept staring at her the whole time.
I was in love.
You were smitten.
I was smitten.
Now, interestingly, she wasn't like repulsed by that.
No. Well, we were sitting next to each other. I don't know. I mean, it's probably maybe like, why is this guy staring at me? I don't know what she could do.
She didn't give off that vibe at all, which is the more interesting part. But it never went anywhere, because I remember you tried to like.
I tried to hit her up. She, was nice enough to respond back, but that I didn't really. There was no conversation.
No, it was very. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, that you told me it was like very. Very surgical, very like.
Well, yeah,
thanks for texting.
Like I said, like she was nice enough to respond, but there was no conversation.
No.
So I just left it at that.
Yeah,
but, you never know.
So if you were to see her again, would things be different?
Yes, I will make them different.
How are they different? Because back then you were still studying, you were still a paramedic. So on paper, nothing has changed except you're more knowledgeable before your MCAT. So what would change?
I don't know. Just be more into her, I guess. I don't know. Just like try to make. No,
it's not about you being into her. That part's already established. I'm talking about how to make her more into you, or into the idea of a relationship.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do like take more of those steps. Talk more. Like put it out there more. I don't know. Whatever, do that. I mean, because what we were doing there, it was just like a friend thing. I didn't really, put those like, try to talk
romantic
to her
vibes.
Yeah, try to get her alone and talk to her. We were all there.
Yeah.
This time I'd be like, hey, let's me and you, hang out.
I mean, I still think you should. Okay, this is unsolicited advice, but what I was gonna say was like, if you do go and then you see her there, you have to make sure that she has a friend with her, and then I'd go out with the friend, and then to make sure that it's like so she feels safe. And
she knows us. Like
I know she knows us, but she needs to feel like it's a group effort type thing where you and her can walk ahead. That's fine, and then I'll stay back with said friend.
I want alone time.
Okay, unsolicited advice. I'll take
it. We can do that too. I'm not saying we won't do that, but I'm just saying like. I want to have a time. Man. Oh yeah, I'm saying we can do that, but hey, I want time.
That's true.
I want time alone.
That's
not
true.
like in a dark corner somewhere, but just like we're out. Maybe at a actually. Which would have me like thinking even like more about her because we were at a breakout session together and we didn't even know. It
Oh,
was the breakout
which
session
one?
on like political, like how it was something about politics or like
Okay,
political, like government and
I
stuff
don't
like that.
remember.
There was a breakout session where they talked about, the vaccine, about just like, our freedom of religion and stuff like that, and how the laws and stuff affect, who we are and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And obviously that makes sense for her to be there because, she, but I was there too because that stuff interested me. And so when
Yeah.
she told me that, I was like, we're meant to be. Because she was there, and like,
It's
she
almost
was the
too
only one.
perfect.
She's yeah. I'm like, no one else that I knew was there,
Yeah.
but she was there, and then I was like, oh man.
Dang. Now we talked just a little bit about girls that you've liked and things didn't work out for whatever reason, or just timing, distance. Well, what about heartbreaks? Have you ever been heartbroken?
Of course, everybody.
Walk me through a couple of those examples. Be as thorough as possible.
I don't know if I want to be as thorough as possible. Some of them are just, but it's just like, a lot of
Come on,
times it's
man.
just.
Be honest. Be honest.
Well, I mean, a lot of it is it's
Okay.
nothing really like super
Damning or
crazy.
whatever.
Yeah, a lot of it's
Okay.
just like me liking a girl, not really sure how to show it, and then all of a sudden she's with another guy. That's pretty much how it is.
Oh wow. Is that a
So
pattern you've seen, or just a one-time thing?
uh, I mean, the one time that really sucked was I liked a girl at camp.
Yeah.
I saw her for like 2 days, and I didn't really know anything about her. I just thought she was really pretty, and I mean, I knew some things, that she was, at least Christian. She was at the camp.
Yeah.
But she was sporty. Apparently she, likes sing and stuff like that. Um, and just naturally liked her, but like I think like all the guys liked her.
Yeah.
But I thought there was some interest between me and her, just from some of the vibes of me being around and other people trying to push me towards her. And so,
Ooh.
I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like maybe this, but I was really shy around her. I think I was like 20 years old.
Dang, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it has.
Mm-hmm.
But
But you were still a grown man.
I was in the Marines at this time. But
Yeah.
I
Not a
just
grown
met
man.
her.
Well,
Like
quote
I
unquote
literally
grown
saw her.
man.
I was at camp meeting for the week. I would see her in passing, and I would try to maybe talk to her. And there was a couple times where I know I should have and could have, but I was so shy. I just
Oh
didn't know how
no.
to do it. I wasn't confident in myself.
Mm.
I was just like, whatever. But yeah, and then I really liked her, and then all of a sudden I heard she had a guy or met some dude in camp. Didn't even work out. It was a stupid thing. But it sucked, and that kind of hurt. And but what made it suck more is because I showed up, and this was actually Pastor Taylor's last year. I
Oh,
showed
okay.
up, and the guy that I was, or the guy, like I saw her, and she was sitting next to me, kind of, just like a few spaces between me, where she was sitting next to me. We're in the Chapel of the Pines, and then um, the guy that she was with, like saw her and then like pulled her and had him sit next to her and did that right in front of me, and I was like, ooh, that kind of sucked. But
Yeah.
then like I
So
could feel like
he knew something.
well, I feel like she didn't want anybody to know about it, like because it was just a summer fling thing.
Oh, I see.
And I think I showed that I didn't really care so much or something. I don't know. I maybe have been seeing this all in my own head, but I don't know. I just felt like she didn't really like him because she was just acting like she didn't want to be.
Indifferent.
Yeah, and so, but like all of a sudden, like they start being really flirty with each other, and it was all right in front of me, and so that kind of sucked. But it's just stupid stuff. It wasn't like anything serious. It sucked at that moment. I didn't like that. But just silly stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah, she's married to. I don't think she's not married to an Adventist, but she's married with kids now.
Good for her.
Yeah.
What would you say are some mistakes that you've made in like your dating like in your dating life and meeting girls and stuff like that other people do you think could probably learn something from?
I mean, I think I go through what a lot of guys go through. Just, not being sure of yourself. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It honestly, I think it depends on the girl too. But maybe just showing how you feel about a girl, telling a girl like I don't know, just doing things to make her know that you actually like seriously like her and want to talk to her instead
Are
of
you saying
just
don't do that or
no, I'm
to do that?
showing that.
Okay.
Instead of just showing that you have like a crush on her or you think she's pretty, like actually showing her that you like want to get to know her. So that could have been something I could learn from, I guess, or whatever.
What other mistakes have you made in the dating space that you're like, okay, I probably don't want to do that again?
Uh, Not really having like a plan when you go out on a date, I guess.
Oh
You just
yeah,
go out and
or
you just
making resis ahead
well,
of time. That one,
yeah.
the only
But
reason I know that one is because it was relatively recent.
yeah. I
Not
mean like
with you now.
that wasn't like anything serious. I didn't really if I had really liked the girl, like I feel like I would have put a lot more time into
Effort
that.
into
But
it.
still, it shouldn't matter. You go out, you want to make sure everything's prepared. But whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I wasn't talking. But I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about like more specifically, like
Okay.
what to do. Like, okay, yeah, we go out to eat. Now what?
Yeah.
Do we go for a walk somewhere, or do we
Just end
talk
it
how
there.
to follow up, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like with me, like if I know the girl and I'm friends with, that stuff is more natural to me to do. Like,
Hmm.
hey, let I really enjoyed myself. Let's try to hang out, or let's go out some other time. Like, when are you free next? Or I don't know. That's it's kind of my thing, I
Hmm.
guess. Yeah.
So, with that said, what would you say you're looking for? Like, like paint a picture for us of your so-called Rachel or Matilda or whatever. Um, yeah, just like paint us a picture of the girl that Michael is looking for. So, like,
She has to be nice,
okay,
not toxic. Preferably, not. I don't know. This might get me
are are,
canceled, but
are you? Yeah, you're about to get canceled.
not you know, not a very what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Not a crazy past, if you know what I mean. I
Be
don't want
more
I don't want
specific.
that baggage.
Okay.
I don't want a girl that's been
Okay.
sleeping around and doing all
Hmm.
that stuff. Because first of all, I'm not like that. I'm a
Even
feel.
if she's like reborn in Christ,
I
you're like
mean,
you'd still be like, nah.
I don't know. I don't think so. No, like yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I wouldn't. I
I
wouldn't.
mean, be honest. Yeah.
If no, I'm saying like if she was reborn in Christ, yeah, that's fine. That's the trump card. But I don't want a girl that's like kind of has that past and hasn't
Or still
really.
looks upon it as like fondly or something like
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
don't want that. So mainly just nice. Um, has virtue, respects herself, respects her image.
Okay.
Um,
What does that mean? Respect her image.
just not trying to be a hoe, like just not on Instagram with her butt out. Just a girl like that, just a Christian.
Yeah.
I think that encompasses all of it. Someone who loves God. Um,
Yeah.
Someone who I can see having a family with.
Hmm.
Someone who I can show if I have a daughter, like, look at your mom, like that's how you should be.
Wow.
I don't
Yeah.
want to have my daughter and their mom on Instagram with all this wow stuff. I don't know. I'm old fashioned, but that's what I want. And then, but mostly, someone who's motivated, who has goals in life,
Hmm.
who wants to do something in the world,
Yeah.
and who is into ministry, who wants to help people, who wants to.
What kind of ministry? Or it doesn't matter.
I mean, ministry to me is all encompassing. Like
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
not different parts of ministry. I mean, there is, but like if you're like in the church and you want to, be a part of the ministry of the church or of Jesus Christ, then helping people, being active in church, stuff
Yeah.
like that, because that's what I do. And we're always trying to plan events. We're always out there. You preach, I preach. So somebody
Hmm.
who's kind of like that, I guess.
Now, I feel like
And
and
I don't want a girl who I can mistreat and she let me do that. And I'm not saying I would,
right,
but
who has a
if
backbone,
I mess up, and
she'll call
I
you out
probably
on it.
will. Yeah, if she smacks me, oh well, I probably deserved it.
I'm sorry, what?
So yeah,
Okay, yeah, interesting.
I want a girl with a little bit of attitude.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Now, I was gonna say, that sounds like a Latina, and a
A
lot
lot
of what
of
you said can apply to. I can think of a
and black
couple
girls.
and black girls.
At least I don't want to put my parents out here, but
I was gonna say that kind of applies. Like I can think of a handful of women who that applies to. Like from like the Hayes Church, for example, we have them over for a couple times, and do none of them interest you, or because a lot of the characteristics you said apply to them. So I'm sorry. So my question is, why not one of them?
I don't know. I haven't really been around them so much. Like only a few times recently.
Okay,
Maybe I don't know.
and then you're not okay. Yeah,
Maybe if they're around more. I don't
yeah,
know.
that's interesting. What about
So,
lifestyle? Homebody, outdoorsy, doesn't matter.
prefer outdoorsy.
Mm.
Wants to
Like
go out,
likes to
wants to
do stuff.
explore. Yeah. I'm more like into nature and hiking and stuff. But somebody like that, yeah, definitely
What about
likes
profession?
traveling.
Doesn't matter what she does.
No, as long as she
What if
has
she like
goals.
works at good old Mickey D's? You're a fan?
Probably not Mickey D's because
Why not Mickey
there's a little
D's?
bit of a dilemma there.
How come?
I mean, as a career, I don't know. Because I want to be in the health field. I can have my wife working at McDonald's. No, I don't know. It's just there's other reasons I won't want to get into that.
Okay,
But
so there is limits to what you're saying. So like no fast food place, I guess. But like a career at Kohl's is fine, for example.
I don't know. I never really thought about that. I mean, I'd have
Or are
to.
you looking for like a professional woman
Uh,
like said girl
you can
from
work
that?
in retail. You can work in sales. It's just. mm,
There's a lot of hesitancy. I'm just,
I don't know, man. I've never really. I don't really know people that work at McDonald's. Like honestly,
that's okay. That's also true, I guess.
like I don't know. Like most people that I know and are friends with, I mean, they've been to college. Not saying that's a deal breaker, but they're
Yeah.
not working in fast food or retail. Now I used to work at Walmart.
Right.
There's people there that I thought were cool, but I
Yeah.
didn't really know any of them
Hmm.
personally. So
Well, is there anything else that I mentioned or that I haven't mentioned that you're looking for? That you're like, this is probably unique to me.
I mean, if she knows how to cook, that'd be good. I mean, I grew up eating good food.
That's
Both my
true.
parents, very good
And you know how
cooks.
to cook good food.
I know how to cook a little bit,
A little
yeah.
bit, yeah.
But I'm used to eating good food that's seasoned. So
No exceptions.
yeah, and I'm not saying you gotta be a world stopper, but you gotta learn, a
Okay.
little bit of way
So,
around the kitchen, man.
so that kind of brings me to this question, which is like, does it matter if she's white? Knowing,
No,
like you knowing the fact that like white women or something have a tendency to not be able to know how to cook, or
the North,
correct? Yeah, I
down
was
south, or mainly just down south. They're pretty much the same. Like they're good,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's just kind of up here is a little
a
weird.
little touch and go.
Yeah, but I mean, they can teach.
Yeah,
They can learn.
that's fair. Now, as we kind of wrap up, this last question, what would you say you have to offer? Like, what does Michael offer, um, said girl of his dreams that no one else does?
I don't know about what no one else does, but I mean, just
Okay, yeah,
loyal,
yeah, forget that part, but just like,
lo-
what does Michael offer?
loyalty,
Yeah.
sincere,
Hmm.
um, kind. I'm not gonna try to hurt you, at least knowingly. Um,
Yeah.
hard worker, funny, likes to have fun, likes to, do things. So yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
those
I
are
mean, fair
those are
enough.
those are things that I've recognized about myself. So
What would you say are some things you have to work on in order to like be a better boyfriend in the future? Would you say?
my relationship with God,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, as much as I am involved in my church, I know my relationship with God is not where it should be at all. Especially for as much as I'm involved in church, like I feel like I definitely need to take it up a
A couple
notch.
notches.
Yeah, pray more, study the Bible more. I'm preaching this Sabbath,
So
and
am I.
I haven't even been in my Bible every day. It's crazy.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's not good.
Yeah.
No, I feel you. Hmm. Anything else that you feel like you got to work on in order to be a good boyfriend, or do you feel like you think you'd be a good boyfriend right off the bat?
Uh, I mean, yeah, I feel like I'd be a good boyfriend. Just I'm a good person. Like you can trust me. I'm loyal.
Yeah.
You know, you ask me to do something. I'm gonna try to do it, and if I don't think I can, I'll let you know that I
Hmm.
can't. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
I feel like I'd be good in those core stuff. Maybe romance. You might. Yeah. I mean,
Is it a strong suit or something you have to work on? Are you saying
like I'm a gentleman. I will say that.
you're a distinguished gentleman?
I open doors.
Hmm.
I'll help you with things. I had a good example. My dad. He wasn't the most romantic guy, but my dad is a very good gentleman.
Hmm.
He always treated my mom like
With the
with
utmost
respect and
respect. Yeah.
dignity. Um, Not maybe the best of words,
Hmm.
but
There's
the
something you can better on.
yeah. So but the
Yeah.
gentleman, and my mom would say that too. So
Yeah. And then, Mike, what makes you unique? So, like, let's say she's listening to this podcast right now. Um, like, why should she choose you over Tyrone or Chad or some other guy? Like, well, like, why choose you?
I've heard, over the years, I've heard and seen people like tell me um or just like for instance, when I do something wrong
Mm-hmm.
or when I made a mistake or whatever it is, even when I was in boot camp with the drill instructors or whatever, they would come to me to know the truth about something
Wow.
because I'm just an honest guy. They know and it's kind of almost to a fault
I shall not
sometimes
lie.
because people just think they can, just,
Walk all over you or
yeah, because,
something.
I'm sincere. But,
Mm.
I think, that's nothing wrong with that. So, it's always a shock to some people when like, oh, Michael, you do that or what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
I've seen that multiple times. And so I just feel like that's something, I don't want to say unique, but it's like, you'll probably notice that about me, like
Mm.
over the time that you get to know me. Like I like to be honest
Yeah.
with people. Not like all the time when it comes to like a situation, but like, because I might not say something about something all the time.
Okay.
But like if you ask me, I'll give you the honest truth, or I'll like, you know, tell you how I see things at the very least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that's my thing. I guess I'm just like sincere, honest person,
Huh. Fair enough.
do
And
gooder.
then, how much longer do you foresee yourself being single?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
So, like, in terms of like actions that you can take now, like, is there something you could be doing but you're not, for example?
I
Or do
mean,
you
if
feel
I
like,
wanted to have a girlfriend, I could have had a girlfriend. Like, there's no question about that. Like, I already know that. But it's just like, when I feel like I want to, like, or when I feel like I'm where I am in life, then I'll do it.
yeah, cool. All right.
Hmm.
Sounds good.
Hmm.
Is there anything you want me to pray for you for in regards to your dating life while we close?
Just that um just continue to let God lead my life and not try to rush things or get desperate.
Yeah. Sweet. Let's do it.
Okay.
Father in heaven, thank you for loving us the way that you do, and thank you for allowing me to spend some time with Mike, just hear about, Father, why he's single and the things that he's gone through. Father, you know, his desire to not want to rush things and just lead his life according to the way that you're leading. I pray that that can come true in his life, Father. That you can continue to guide him, allow him to get past the benchmarks that he's established in his life, to know when he's ready to date, etc., etc. Please provide him somebody who is a helpmeet and compliments him well, and that loves you as much as he does. I pray that the relationship between you and him can grow closer still, and that his sermon this weekend can go wonderfully. Thank you again for Michael, Father, and I pray that you bless him. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.